Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Shankar. So in this video, I'm going to share my interview experience for the position of JRF, which I recently got interviewed at DRDO Visakhapatnam, NSTL. So I have already made the video in my mother language, and I got a few comments to once again make it in English. So I'm doing this again. So let's start the video without any delay, guys. So guys, the interview was held on February 26th at NSTL Visakhapatnam, and the reporting time was 9 a.m. in the morning. And I reached there by 7 a.m. in the morning and entered the DRDO facility by 8 a.m. So the guards asked us to stand aside until 9 a.m. So by 9:15, some of the technical staff came inside from the facility and segregated the candidates based on the branches. So for the computer science, there was only one opening, I think, like one or two openings as far as I can recall, and and I think 14 members has attended the interview. So the first one is eligibility. They check eligibility checking. So the advertisement is based on the BE and BTech and also MTech. So one girl student came with MCA degree, and they asked us to move out, and they asked along with the BTech degree, they asked with a valid GATE score. So one boy candidate, he came with without any valid GATE score, and he urged that I gave GATE examination but I haven't qualified. So both are different. Giving GATE examination and getting some mark is different from having a qualifying mark. So please recheck once the advertisements when you are going for a interview calls like this. So he also moved out, and there are only 12 students left out. And coming to other branches like mechanical and electrical engineering, instrumental engineering, there are more candidates attend, like 30 to 40 candidates for mechanical engineering. Then the number of openings were 3. So they have to write a test, because as the number of candidates were more, in order to cut the candidates for the interview selection process, they gave a test. And before the interview, guys, the written test was very optional, because the computer science students were only 12 members. So we haven't gave us any written test. We went directly to the interview. So the procedure followed like this. The step 1, we have to deposit our bags and mobiles at the starting stage of the facility. There will be a facility room, and we have to give our Aadhaar Xerox along with the attestation on it. What is meant by attestation? The Aadhaar Xerox along with a sign on it, guys. So we have deposited our mobiles, bags, and gave us Aadhaar Xerox with attestation on it. And they gave us a visitor ID tag along with some slip. And the slip is very important, guys. And you have to take care that slip till the end of the interview before moving after the DRDO campus, because the technical staff who guided you into the facility has to sign that on the slip, so that you have to resubmit the slip before coming out of the facility along with the ID tag. So, like when the interview is over and when you want to come out of the facility, you have to submit the slip with the guide sign on it, and along with you have to give the visitor tag also. After giving both the visitor tag and the slip, you can pick up your bag and mobile and you can come out. So this is the first step of the procedure. And after this deposits and giving us ID tags and slip, they sent us to they forward us to one big building. There was one big building, one room. So they guided all the students into one big building for authentication purpose. So here comes the step 2, guys. So coming to the step 2, guys, document verification, which is a normal step, and it is a very important step too. So you have to provide all the documents which are needed and which they are asked during the advertisement. Usually the document verification consists of having Aadhaar card and Aadhaar. You have to carry both original and the Xerox, and you have to do attestation on the Xerox papers, like Aadhaar card, Aadhaar Xerox, and your sign on the Xerox paper. So the sign on the Xerox paper is called attestation. So Aadhaar card, Xerox, and 10th mark sheet along with the Xerox, and your 11th and 12th, your intermediate original papers, and the BTech degree, and as well as the mark sheet, guys. So I think as far as I recall, those are all you can need for general category students, and for the for the minority candidates, you need the caste certificates and income certificates, etc., if stated. So that's it about the step 2, guys. But step 2 is a little more complicated, because if you fail to provide any documents like the original or even Xerox, you will be disqualified for moving to the further round. So step 2 is very important. Some candidate from mechanical, as I remember, forgot her BTech mark sheet, and she had to move out of the interview before going to the third step. So it is very important. Please make sure you have all the documents. So that's it about the step 2, guys. So let's move on to the step 3. So that is a panel interview, guys. And coming to the panel interview, guys, and I'm again telling you that the written test is optional, because for mechanical engineering, as I can remember, the 30 to 40 students have attended for the selection process, and there are only 3 vacancies. They have to give a written test for the qualification or the cutting the candidates. So in order to make the interview a little bit short, so as the computer science students have attended only 12 members, so we went directly for the interview without writing any test. So I was the first member who got interviewed by the panel. So the panel consists of 4 members, and as far as I can recall, one professor is the Andhra University HOD. Like he's the HOD of CSIT department. Only IT department, because one of my friend, like he studied from he studies his MTech from Andhra University. So he told me that. So the panel consists of 4 members, and the questions went like this, guys. So here's the first question. As usually, the first question is about tell me about myself, and the second question is followed by project and the related questions. So whenever I used to stammer, or I used to halt during the answering of the questions, they used to help me, like when my project deals with computer vision, so they used to help, like let's take an example or take an object, what are the attributes, how will you do that. They helped me a lot. So it was a very cool headed interview, like no pressure, nothing, guys. So I love this interview a lot. This is the most loved interview by me among all the interviews I gave, because there was no stress, and whenever I say, sir, I don't know this topic, they not used to ask questions from the topic, and they used to ask the questions from the topic which I only knew. So I told us I'm preparing for GATE from past 1 year. So they asked questions on the GATE syllabus. So that's how the interview went, and I was very happy for answering all the questions. So coming to the next question, they asked about pick any subjects like you want to get interviewed. Usually, guys, it will be differ from interview to interview based on the interview to interviewer, the person who is asking the questions. Sometimes they ask that pick any 1 subject, or pick any 2 subjects, or pick any 3 subjects, because they need to ask more questions within the time slot. So they will give us the number of subjects we have to pick, and they haven't asked me about any particular number. So they asked us to pick any few subjects which you want to get interviewed. So I picked data structures, algorithms, and operating systems. So coming to the data structure, guys, the first question is from the Andhra University HOD. He asked me that the professor asked me that about some time complexities, and about the best algorithms for searching and sorting techniques, and about the quick sort, and what are the time complexities and why do they behave like that. So, and after this, and they asked me a question. Another professor asked me a question. Like the question follows like this. For example, if an algorithm takes big O of n square for 10 lines of input, for example, okay, for 10 lines of input, it takes big O of n square with 3 seconds of time. If the input was increased to 1000 lines, what is the effect on the time complexity? Will it increase or will it decrease? What is the output of the time? So he asked me like that, and I have answered the question, and he got pretty satisfied with the answer. And there was one main professor sitting in the middle of the panel, and he asked me some of the questions like IEEE notations. So if you're preparing for GATE, and I'm pretty sure that you know about IEEE notation, like single precision, double precision, what are the sizes and what are the values of it. And they asked me 2-3 questions based on the IEEE notations, and later it shifted to OOPS concept, like inheritance, polymorphism, method overriding, method overloading, etc. And coming to next subject, operating systems, which I mentioned. So they asked me about what is meant by operating system. Later, like it is a very simple question. Later they followed by preemptive scheduling algorithms. What is a preemptive scheduling algorithm? Give some examples, and what is our some special explanation about round robin, like time quantum and everything. Why it is preemptive and why others are not preemptive, and about scheduling algorithms, as I told, different scheduling algorithms, about starvation and why starvation occurs, and what are the in what different scheduling algorithms the starvation occur, and about deadlocks. They asked me how deadlocks are formed, what are the conditions for the deadlocks, and what are the remedies for the deadlocks, etc., and like how do we handle them. So these are the questions that are asked to me by the panel guys, and I expected the questions from software engineering, and I revised the subject a lot, but they haven't asked me that questions. And the questions from software engineering are asked by the candidate followed me by me, like my friend who is studying in MTech in the Andhra University. The questions were asked from the software engineering. So because I want to emphasize that, I want to emphasize this point, guys. Software engineering is most important subject in the interviews like ISRO, DRDO for various positions. It is the most important subject. So you can expect questions, like there is a chance of 99% of expecting questions from this subject. And there are some other questions related to Java data structures were asked by the panel to my friends, and there is one candidate, one of my friend who is a working professional. So they asked questions related to her work, what are the projects she is dealing with, etc. So I emphasize you more, like be bold and frank to the panel, be clear, and don't show any ambiguity. If you try to show an ambiguity and try to play any cards, you will be permanent. There is a chance of permanently disqualifying for further attending any roles or the vacancies by the ISRO, DRDO, etc. guys. So this is my fair and frank advice, and please learn from the interview, and so that you can do better in the next interview if you got failed or if you haven't got selected. This is my final advice, guys. So these are all my interview experience. So after the interview experience, I went to my guide and he signed the slip. He signed on my slip, and I went to the outside facility and submitted the slip as well as my ID tag, and I took my bag as well as my mobile, and I came out. And before coming out, I had my lunch in the DRDO facility because it's already 2 in the afternoon, like 1:30 in the afternoon. So the DRDO facility has arranged the food for us, like it costed us around 20-25 rupees. That's it, and the food was good. So that's it, guys. Please do subscribe. Bye.